to you. We just read a quote from Dr. Boyce Watkins that said that the nations, or the so-called Jewish people, look at the so-called blacks as liquid money.
Right.
As soon as you get it, everything falls out of their hands and it goes right back into the hands of their oppressors.
Right.
I agree with that, and the Bible says does too. Read Deuteronomy 7:6. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
So we just read Deuteronomy 1:1 that tells you that he was speaking to the children of Israel. He made this declaration to them, to us, our ancestors and our forefathers, and was told that we are a special people that he chose unto himself.
Right.
So now he created a people that he made for himself and brought them close to him and said that you're mine. I've selected you above all my creations. You're the nation that I desire. You're the nation I want to cultivate, build, and everybody else is going to be the envy of. The children of Israel. See, when we say that, it's a problem. But do you understand that the fake Jews, they read the same thing and believe the same thing? They believe that they are above, they're the best, they're the chosen. But you see, it's a problem when this melanated skin stands on the corners and declares it loudly. Oh, you guys are racist. You guys are separatists. You guys are wrong. But meanwhile, they're slithering up and down in their synagogue saying the same damn thing, and you don't have no problem with them. Harvey Weinstein, Steven Spielberg, all of them believe the same thing. And they're dead wrong. Because it ain't talking about them, it's talking about us. Go ahead.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Where all men are created equal.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
The Lord said that the children of Israel have been selected and chosen to be above all people that is upon the face of the earth. That includes the so-called white man, regardless of his arrogancy. That includes the Africans. That includes the East Indians. That includes the Arabs. The Lord said the children of Israel are above all people that is upon the face of the earth. When we're locked in and we're doing as thus saith the Lord, nobody can stop us.
That's right.
Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, if we come together under the guidelines of this Bible, nobody can stop us. Man, the damn earth is dying for us to come back under righteousness. You know the earth. You see the earthquakes. You see the storms. You see the happenings with the weather. You see the volcanoes over there in La Palma. The earth is rejecting every damn thing. And the white man says, "Oh, it's global warming."
Right.
Oh, really? Well, maybe you should get off of the private jets. That's having all the damn carbon emissions all over the place. Maybe you should, stop busting holes in the ozone layer. Maybe you should stop spraying the chemicals in the air.
Right.
Have you thought about that?
Killing off the animals.
Killing off the animals. Maybe you should stop with the HARP, weather weapons program, and the geoengineering. Maybe you should stop with that. And you keep talking about, climate change. We need to get green. We need to recycle.
Right.
Well, we'll start recycling once Jeff Bezos gets off the private jets. We'll start recycling when Bill Gates, stops buying up all the damn farmland, and he stops buying up all the damn private, he just bought a damn airport for his private jets. And they're saying it's your fault because you used a plastic straw. You don't give me a damn break.
A plastic bag.
Hey, look, the white man knows. It's your people doing it. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, finish up 15. Okay. Go ahead and go to 44 now.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
The Lord said that there was going to be a curse that befell the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. He said that we were going to be in an oppressive situation where we would have to be relying upon being lent to, and we were not going to be in a position to lend. Do you understand? Find me the damn black and Hispanic, Native American, indigenous tribe that owns MasterCard, Visa, Discover, American Express. Show me the one that owns Quicken Loans.
Right.
You understand? Look, matter of fact, find me a payday loan place in Palos Verdes. Find me payday loans in Beverly Hills. No, where them payday loan places at? In Compton, in Watts, in South Central, in Chicago, on the South Side, in New York, in Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. Why they always know that we need that payday loan? Because you know what? You don't have enough to make it to that next paycheck. Or you need an advance? Sure, we'll give it to you. You're going to have to pay 300% interest. How about that? Only in our neighborhoods. Only in our condition. That's why the Lord said, he's going to lend to you. You're not going to lend to him. Look, even you said, well, you got athletes, you got entertainers, you guys got money. Are you serious? These contracts are damn near like loans. What's up, brother? How can I help you? You want a cup of it? Oh, no extra Bibles. No. All right. But reach out to us on the email, man. Maybe we'll send you one. Or come back next week. So the Lord said what? Read it one more time.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
So one of the curses is we're going to be subject to payments. We're going to have to rely upon him for lending. You get the little NFL, NBA contract, that's damn near a loan because it's conditional. You can get cut off at any time. Look at the dumb NFL player riding 156 miles an hour in Nevada. It was only a matter of time. You know, once the Raiders went to Las Vegas, you knew something was going to happen. You know damn well you can't put them jakes in that damn situation and not be tempted to do some folly. Drunk as hell, driving 156 miles an hour, rear-ended some chick, blew up her car, damn near killed himself. And as soon as that happened, Raiders cut his ass. And now he's facing over 40 years because the woman died. What happened to that contract? Ain't nothing guaranteed. There's clauses in there. Act up, act the fool. You know, put yourself in these situations. And 9 times out of 10, I'll even lower that. Maybe 8 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10. The success stories of those that have that money, man, always ends bad. Guys end up broke, all jacked up, indebted. And you saying, damn, you had a whole bunch, you signed them contracts, man, where'd the money go? No financial literacy, no responsibility, none of the above. Run through it like water, like we said earlier, right? He's gonna lend to us, we're not gonna lend to him. So now we're finding ourselves being what? Debt slaves. Because we're reared up and told that you have to go to school, you have to go to college, you have to in order to be successful. So let's look at it. You're looking at the educational system that starts you off at what, 5 years old, kindergarten? Yeah, that's about right, because that's the age right now. They saying you got to roll up your sleeves for your kids, let them poke them up with some of this venom. So 5, all the way till you're 18, that's 13 years of indoctrination that you got to get. Then after that, he says, well, in order to make it to the next level, you got to invest in another 2 to 4 years, maybe 6, depending on whatever trade you decide to delve into. And guess what? In order to go to these places, you can't afford it. You didn't lock down and fight for them little educational grants that they give, which don't always give you a free ride. You got to damn near apply for like 50 damn grants so they can cover the cost of your college. But say you get that, get into college, you got to take a loan for that. And they tell you, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's always programmed, oh, doctor, lawyer, policeman. You know, to be a doctor, you already looking at 6 figures in loans just to complete school. So by the time you get out and you doing your little register, internship and all the other stuff, you ain't getting paid. 5, 6, 7 years down the line, you'll start making money. Then you can start paying on that $100,000 loan. Then you can start paying on the $150,000 loan. Meanwhile, you're trying to survive and live. You see how that works? And we're being told you got to go so he can lend to you, and you can't lend back to him. And you know those federal loans are not forgivable. You can't write them off for bankruptcy. The Bible said, once I lock you in, it's over. You can't escape this. Oh, you need a loan? Yeah, no problem. Sign them up. 6 months after you out, you have to start paying that money back. You can't make it up, default, credit down the drain. Credit down the drain. Got the degree, got the paper, bad credit, you can't even get a damn apartment because you couldn't pay them damn loans back. See how the game works? Read 48. Verse 48. Therefore,
thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst.
You see that? Hunger and in thirst. That's why they were trying to scrutinize Kaepernick. He made $40 million and he's complaining. Guess what? He still had to go to his enemy in want of all things. And you can say, well, you got Jay-Z, you got Puffy, you got Dr. Dre. I mean, all those dudes are complete slaves. They're getting this money, they're making these deals, they're shaking hands, they're bending over in order to stay in good graces with Massa. And in turn, they sit back and do reverse psychologies on our people and have our people being entertained with folly and foolishness and wickedness and co-signing it. Rock Nation just got to do the whole damn campaign telling our people to go out there and get poked in the arm with the venom. That's on Jay-Z's watch. He said, well, Jay-Z's a good man. He's fighting for criminal justice. A day late, dollar short. When they going over there to Howard University where they got mold and rats and roaches crawling all over the damn place and the whole damn buildings are collapsing. Jesse Jackson tried to go over there and fell on his head. Jesse, you need to slow down, man. It's over. Go sit down somewhere. Man. You just got out the hospital with the vid. Then you want to go over there and do a little protest at Howard. He went, stumbled and fell down and bumped his head. They had to put him right back in the hospital again. That let you know, man, the Spirit of the Lord has not been with you for years. It's over. Get the hell out of there. But where are the celebrities at? Why are they not saving the historical black college? Why? Because they are still in want of all things. They can't afford. We always sit back and wonder. Man, these athletes got all this damn money, man. All they need to do is put $1 million into the hood, man. Build up this. And they said, man, I'm doing it. I'm doing it through the United Way. I'm doing it through Boys and Girls Club. I'm giving them the money. Get a damn president damn money, you go right back in square one again. He gonna manipulate, take that money, do what he wants to do with it, and keep the same system rolling. We gotta do it ourselves, and we ain't doing it. Why? Because the Lord said, you're gonna go to your enemy in want of all things. Look, read it again.
Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst.
Hunger and in thirst. So you sit back and say, well, guess what? How and where do I have to go to eat? You want your groceries, right? Okay, go to Whole Foods, go to Trader Joe's, go to Food for Less, Vons, Ralph's. Who owns those? There ain't no black man that owns them. Hispanic man don't own them. Look, the white man even owns them El Pollo Loco and Taco Bell. He tried to under the guise of fake American Mexican food and Mexican grill, and he owns that damn thing. Right. You would think, oh man, well, maybe some Hispanics own at least an El Pollo. Hell no. White man owns all of that crap. Hunger, thirst, you want a drink? Who you paying for your water bill? DWP? Is that owned by any blacks and Hispanics? No. You can't even take a damn shower if you don't say so. You can't flush a toilet if you don't say so. You don't pay that bill. Arrowhead, Sparklers, Dasani. Who you gotta pay for that? Your little favorite, what's the one that everybody drink? The Hawaiians, Hawaiian water. What's it? No. Fiji water. Fiji water, hey, even the coconut water, you name it. And now all the blacks in the face, Negroes running around here, alkaline. Who the hell are you paying for the alkaline water? Give me a break. You go to him for it. You want to be healthy, go to him for it. Say food, whatever you want. Your groceries, you got to go to him for it. You going over there to Hooters, ask who owns it. Carl's Jr., McDonald's, you name it, whatever. Sizzler, whatever you damn nigga like. You got to go to your enemy for it. Go ahead.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. So our clothing, food, clothing, shelter, water, everything we're going to go through our enemies for it. He said, you're going to have to serve your enemies in order to get these things. That's a curse. And you say, well, what happened to these little, what's up, Kanye, a prime example. Isn't he a designer? Don't he got his little shoes, Yeezys and all that other stuff? Who's he getting the materials for? Who did he get the business license for? Who did he get the insurance from? Who you get to execute the plan? He damn sure it ain't no sweatshop, sewing up his clothes, and his damn clothes look like rags. You look at that damn fashion show he got, man, look like he got a damn curtain or a sheet, cut it up, threw it over somebody with some space boots, and said this is fashion. And you got to intermingle with all of the damn sodomites and rub elbows with them in order to have any success. You want your food? So again, you want to be your own clothing designer? You know, there's plenty of our people out there that's entrepreneuring. Salute to you, whatever. I'm not hating on your business, but the reality is that you got to go to him for your business license. You got to go to him for your materials. You got to go to him for the thread, for the needles, for the machines, for rental space. You understand? That's how this whole thing works. Ain't nothing yours. He owns everything, and you owe it to him. The Lord said he's going to send them to us because we're going to have to serve him in one of all things. Why? Because we broke the laws of the God. And they got the preachers mobilized out here in these streets, in these crack houses every corner, telling you that the laws are done away with, and you ain't got to worry about it. Plead the blood of Jesus, and everything's going to be fine, and you're going to make it to the kingdom. And God said, no, the whole reason why you're in it is because you did just that. Ignored my laws and my commandments. You said you couldn't do it. You didn't want to do it. You thought there was another way, and now you're dealing with the repercussions. Was that it? Go ahead.
And in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And the yoke of iron no longer needs to be around our necks. It's fit just fine in our brains. Because as the head goes, so does the body, and our people are completely locked down to ignorance, deceit, oppression, abomination of thoughts. It's already there. We don't have to do any work anymore. The system is already in place. The heavy lifting is over. Our people have bought into it. And we're complimenting, we're cool being slaves. We're cool being servants. We have no problem admitting if we're being second-class citizens. The fight is over. All you got to do is sit back, kick his feet up, and collect. Hosea 4:6. Start at verse 1, then drop down to 6. That's the whole plan. We falling into it. The Lord said, all you got to do is repent. You can get out of it. We can start the beginning of the sealing of the chosen to 1/3. We can establish the elect, 144,000, so we can have redemption. But you don't want that. You just want to be able to take your mask off. You don't want that. You just want to be able to have your kids go back to school again and get indoctrinated some more. You don't want that. You just want to be able to go to the bars and the breweries and the clubs and have your vax pass accepted. Go ahead.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Children of who?
Of Israel.
Personalized message to the children of Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. This word is for you. Read.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
See that the Lord said he's got a controversy. Strong disagreement with what's going on in the land. You look around and you tell me everything is cool. You look around and tell me that everything is righteous. Everything is fair. There's balance. There's justice here on earth. You tell me that that's true. And I'll sell you some land that I got in Alaska worth $3 billion, and I'll sell it to you for $50. That's about how preposterous that thought is. Go ahead.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy.
The Lord said he's got a strong disagreement, a controversy with the inhabitants of the land because there's no truth nor mercy. Why is he talking about truth? Hold that, give me John 8. John 8:32. Why is he talking about truth? Some people love lies, love to be deceived. You don't want to be awoken to what's real. The illusion is just fine enough. You don't want to learn about who you truly are, according to the Bible. You don't want to learn about and understand that God has a chosen people. You just want to hold back and stay in the same paradigm where they say, we're all created equal, we're all fine. Well, at what point in time are they going to change that in the Constitution and say that blacks are 3/5 of a human? Let's start there if you want to push that narrative that we're all equal. They don't even believe that. You know that they have to re-sign over the rights to vote for the so-called blacks and women? I think it's like every 25 years. The president has to re-sign in your ability to vote. It's not a given. He can take it at any time. This is why they always sit back and say, well, I thought I had my rights. Don't I have my religious rights? No. Clearly, when you get fired off of your job and your religious exemptions are being denied because you don't want to get poked in the arm, what happened to all these rights that you thought you had? So let's get back to understanding really what's going on. Nobody's free. You're not free. You're like war to the state, war to the country. That's what the Social Security number's about. Everybody's got a number. Black, Hispanic, Native American, you're the main focus. The rest of the heathens are casualties of war. And the white man is running the whole damn show. Go ahead.
John chapter 8, verse 32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
The truth is what's going to make us free. The truth is the law, statutes, and commandments. Psalms 119, 142 tells us that the truth is the law. That's what's going to make us free. That's what's got us wholly disconnected from the Most High, is because we didn't follow after righteous order. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, all those things we left off of and started following after ways of the nations and the heathens. And it drew us away, further and further away from God, to the point where God had to reject us. Very simple. Read verse 1 again in Hosea, chapter 4, verse 1.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, you children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
I thought God was all love. I thought he didn't care. He's going to accept you as you are and all that. He said, I got a controversy. Strong disagreement. I got a problem with what's going on with the inhabitants of the earth.
That's right.
And our people sit back saying, well, what? I thought God loves. I thought everything was fine. No. This is why you're seeing judgment happen all throughout the earth. They just had that concert with, what's the brother's name?
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, you little Negroes in Hispanic couldn't wait to go over there and party and jump up and down.
Right.
At the Astro Fest. Till 8 people died.
Right.
Trampling and getting ran over in the damn stage collapse and all the other crap. Oh, everything's not so fun no more, huh? We see the realities of life and the Most High laying down these judgments. When did it happen? Last night?
Yeah.
Oh, on the Sabbath? Oh, imagine that. When the Sabbath began, all of a sudden, 8 people died because they wanted to party and live it up instead of learning about the Most High God and repenting and turning their faces back and analyzing and seeing what's happening in the earth and saying everything ain't all right. What am I doing? Am I contributing to the evil? Am I contributing to the abomination? Am I contributing to the wickedness that's happening? Am I contributing to the downfall of my people? Am I actually building and uplifting my community? Am I being an example for my son and my daughter in righteousness? Have you examined that yet? No. You're too busy worried about what's happening on Netflix now. Who's on the gram? You're too worried about what's happening on Twitter. You know, turn all them damn distractions off and get back and lock in with your Father. Go ahead.
Because there is no truth nor mercy.
No truth nor mercy. At what point in time are they going to tell us truly who we are? U.S. government constantly telling us, look, I just made the example earlier. My sister, you watching right now, let me ask you this. When you was a baby and when you grew up, what did they declare your nationality was in your birth certificate?
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Okay. That's Richport. Richport. Who named that? What's the cat's name? Ponce de Leon. Ponce de Leon. That's where they named Richport from. How can you name a nationality of people after a rich port? That doesn't define who we are. We're talking destinational points. We're talking landmass. That doesn't say who we are. So-called blacks, back in the 50s, you was Negro. Before that, you was blacks, you was niggas, you was everything black. Colored, Negro, black, African-American, Afro-American. What are we now? We're just spiritual beings, you know. They're going to just make up every damn thing. We're child of God. You know, that's a safe answer. You know how people, you ask them now, they think it's some trick question. I would just say, what's safe? I'm a child of God. You can't get me with that. You can't deny that. Good Lord. The Lord said, even my children I gave names to. Nice try. Go ahead.
Nor knowledge of God in the land.
So no truth is being told to us. So we're not giving our true nationality. We're not being told who we are. We're not being told to follow after the law, statutes, and commandments. We're not being told who our enemies are. We're not being told how to get out of bondage. We're not being told any of these things. So no truth is being told to us. We're being fed lies. We're being fed religion. We're being fed abominations. We're not even told what a holy diet is. And then when you uphold one and say, well, look, I got a diet. Deuteronomy 14, Leviticus 11, that's where our diet is. And then you got some old damn cornball Negro come around the corner and say, don't eat that meat. God didn't want us to eat that. It's abomination. You said that, it's in the law, I can eat it, can I? I know which ones I can't eat. There's somebody else coming around saying that there's some holistic healer. Everybody's a damn hustler online. Everybody got the answers. And once you drink more alkaline water, man, you're going to see the stars. I'm not denying those things are health benefits, but when you start turning it into a damn doctrine and religion, that's the problem. Is our people start worshiping those type of aspects. You know how many people say that they worship Dr. Sabi? That's a problem. When you turn this man into an idol. When he got that information, from my knowledge, he got it from a damn Moabite. But he got some healing. So, come on. Go ahead. So, no truth, no mercy. We're talking about mercy. Look at it. At what point in time was this mercy? What about Jacob Blake over there in Wisconsin? Got shot in the back. They let the cop go. No problem. How about Oscar Grant? Got shot in the back by that cop up north. They gave that cop 13 months for killing that brother. You know Michael Vick got 3 years for killing dogs? That lets you know that the so-called black man's life is worth less than a dog.
Right.
Michael Vick got 3 years for a dog. White man kills a black man, gets 11 months. Does that make sense? Yeah. Zimmerman. I mean, come on. No truth, no mercy. Here we are. We're talking about lynchings, hangings, burnings. Hold on. I'm going to read this. I don't know if anybody heard of it. They call it the peach. I think it's the peach. Let me see if I got this thing. This thing is wild. Yep, here we go. Hopefully you can read this. I'm gonna read it. It says the pear of anguish. This device was created by the Europeans and was used on slaves in the 1800s. The pear, as it was called, was inserted into the male slave's rectum if he refused sex with his slave master. Once inserted, the key would be turned until it was fully open and cause major damage or even death as punishment. Regarding the female slave, if she refused sex, it was inserted into her vagina, causing massive hemorrhaging and infertility. And if you were found to be a liar, it was placed into your mouth and the key was turned until your jawbone was broken. Here it is right here.
Wow.
The pear of anguish.
Wow.
And you saying he ain't got to pay for that? This type of torture, this type of anguish that our people was going through, we got to forget about that? No truth, no mercy? I mean, give me a break. Look at this. Bedwenching our women, Mandingo fighting. All of this stuff was done under the guise of his oppression over our people. Emmett Till, picking cotton, boiling our people alive. I mean, we read about the stories in 2 Maccabees 7 about the woman with 7 sons and one of them being boiled alive. They was doing that back during the time of slavery. There's a movie called Mandingo with Ken Norton in it. He got boiled alive at the end. Show you that was historical. Strange fruit. That was our people hanging off of these trees. You understand? No truth, no mercy. And they said we got to forget about it. That was the past. Let it go. But they damn sure ain't gonna give up that Holocaust. We can bring that up at any time, and they jumping, hipping and skipping, saying, "What can we do to make it right?" We're sorry. They're still hunting down any survivors of the damn Nazis. They had some woman, man, she was like 95 years old. They caught her butt and then locked her butt up because she skipped trials. They still trying to get her. At 95, they said they're going to get her ass. You can't even get her. You mean, damn.
Yeah.
You look at all people, they sit back and say, man, it could have happened last week. And they say, forget about it.
Right.
Was that it? No truth, no mercy. We wasn't showing mercy. As a result of all of this, we wasn't giving truth. We were giving more lies, more deception. Go ahead.
Verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Lack of money,
Lack of knowledge.
education.
Lack of knowledge.
The Lord said his people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now remember, verse 1, it said the children of Israel. So that's who his people are. And he said that our people, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, are the people of God. He said, we've been destroyed for lack of knowledge. And he's going to clearly tell us what the knowledge was in the same verse. It wasn't because you didn't, finish college. Wasn't because you didn't go to that trade school. Wasn't because, you didn't finish high school, whatever. You didn't get your GED. That ain't the knowledge he's talking about, because all that knowledge is folly. Built around a system that's going to continually enslave your mind. So the Lord said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Our people reject knowledge. You don't want the knowledge. White man told you to reject knowledge. He said it's better to be dumb, better to be stupid, better to be ignorant. Having knowledge is boring. You're not even supposed to be acknowledging that.
They got their dresses on.
He said, because you rejected it, I'm also going to reject you. That's why we see our people being rejected to God. You want to know if you've been rejected to God? Well, look around. If you ever had to buy, raid, rat traps, rope, mice traps, and all that, you've been rejected to the Most High. You got bars on your windows, you've been rejected to the Most High. If you had to heat up the stove in the oven to heat up the house because you that damn cold and you ain't got no heater and you didn't pay the bill, you've been rejected to the Most High. You understand? That's really what's going on. Last high, first fire, you dodging bullets in the house, crack vials on the ground, prostitutes walking around in your neighborhoods, bad examples being shown. I mean, I just seen a video, and it was cold. White man was going in on Meek Mill because he shrink wrapped a bus with his album cover. His album cover got, cartoon depictions of our sisters bending over with thongs on and ass hanging out. I mean, ridiculous. And he going in saying, damn, this is what you want, black woman? You respect this? This is what you want your people to look like? And it's all for bus promo. And who runs his label? Rick Ross and white men. You tell me why the Lord said he got a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Because we rejected the Most High. What happened?
That thou shalt be no priest to me.
The priest, the Levites, lawyer, being joined unto the Most High, said the priesthood would be ceased. We wouldn't be allowed to be conductors and teachers of the law of the Most High anymore. Right? Go ahead.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
That's the knowledge. The laws of the Most High. He said we forgot it. We left off of it. We left it alone. We rejected it. And then here you got Bishop Bucks and Pastor Plakes and the rest of these crooked ass preachers in there telling you, yeah, that's right. That's right. Leave the law alone. No man can do the law. That ain't what God wants. He wants your heart. He wants your mind. He wants you to love him. See, all of that folly. I'm gonna get two more precepts and then you up. Look, because we rejected the Most High God, he said he's also going to reject us, that we should be no priest to him, read.
I will also forget thy children.
And the children now will have the repercussions of suffering the sins of our forefathers. Give me Lamentations 5. Lamentations 5, I think I want verse 10. Not 10, it might be 7. But the Lord said the children also will end up seeing what it's like to be without the Most High God, so that we see why we have generational curses that's happening to our people. What you got? Verse 10. Not 5 or 10. Yeah, 7.
Lamentations chapter 5 verse 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not.
So our forefathers, they've sinned, they've committed iniquity, they've gotten our people in these particular positions. suffering to slave ships, suffering to stolen lands, genocide, so forth and so on. And they're not. They're not here to reap the repercussions of that. Who does now? Read.
And we have borne their iniquity.
The sons and the daughters, the generational curses, fall back onto the children. They're not here anymore to pay their dues and debts. And now we have to inherit those things. So now you see what the Most High said, I also forget thy children. That's why we're going through these particular conditions that we're in right now. Okay? Jump over to Romans. Yeah, let's read 9 and 4. And then we're going to jump over to Proverbs. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 9 verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth their adoption.
Read verse 3 so we can get full context.
Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh.
See, Paul said he wished that he was accursed, meaning that he wished that he could take on the burdens of Christ for his kinsmen. That's speaking about bloodline. That's speaking about heritage. That's speaking about tribal affiliation, because Paul knew who he was. Romans 11 tell you that. He said he's of the tribe of Benjamin. So he said he wished that he could take on the curses of Christ for his kinsmen according to the flesh. So there is no spiritual Israel. There's no spiritual connection. There's no spiritual grafting in. Forget about all of that.
Right.
He's speaking kinsmen, fleshly, seed line, bloodline. He's talking about those who he relates to. Read.
Who are Israelites.
He said, those are my kinsmen. That's my, according to the flesh, they're the Israelites.
That's right.
That's not a question, that's a declaration. He said, my kinsmen according to the flesh were Israelites. Read.
So who pertaineth their adoption.
See, the Israelites are pertaining the adoption. We were taken in by the Most High. We were the ones that the Most High adopted out of all the nations. He brought us in, cultivated us, built us up to be a strong and mighty nation. And when our spoiled brat butts got too comfortable, we started falling astray, and the Most High cursed us. Okay? Read.
And the glory and the covenant.
See, we were given the adoption, the glory of the Most High, the covenants. See, we got a law covenant. We got an everlasting covenant that he's going to be our father forever. All of those things was given to our people, blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics. This word is for you.
That's right.
The Lord said he made a covenant with you. He gave you glory. He gave you honor. But you turned your back on it. Same way you're doing right now. Read.
And the giving of the law and the service of God.
And the giving of the law. The giving of religion?
Of the law.
The giving of the law. That's what we were given. We weren't given religion. We wasn't given denominational ways to try to follow them and figure out our own paths. Laws was given to us. Disciplinary ways that we're supposed to carry ourselves civilly, morally, dietarily. Go ahead.
And the service of God.
And the service of the Most High. The Most High said, man, he's only here to service the children of Israel. So when you're praying and you're doing all that, man, the Most High said, man, I'm the only service in Israel.
Right.
You know, the heathen be saying, I'm praying to God, and God answers my... Who answered your prayer, man? Scripture say, man, Satan can be turned into an angel of light.
Right.
So they always think that it's the Most High blessing the damn heathen. The prince of the power of the air is running the show, man. Satan's running all of this damn thing. Give me Proverbs 8. Proverbs 8, I think I'm on 8 and 9. Let me look at that. And let's see what the Most High said about his word and why our people need to come back and cling to it. Yep. There you go.
Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 9. There are all...
I'm on 8 and 9.
So like it. Verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness.
See, all the words of the Most High is in righteousness. Everything that we're speaking is in righteousness. It ain't about hate. It ain't about, some old cultic type thinking. Whatever you think you watching, everything, whatever you think you heard about the children of Israel is all wrong. It's all lies, propaganda, and it's all part of the damn paradigm that's being set up to keep our people away from learning the truth. Some of y'all can't wait to go tap dance tomorrow in church on the wrong day. You caught in the matrix. You need to break free. Get into your Bible. The Most High, we read the scripture earlier in Isaiah 8:20 said, if you're not speaking according to this word, there's no righteousness in you. There's no truth in you. This is where it all starts. You want the answers? Come back to this. Read.
There is no thing forward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth.
It's all plain to them that understand it. People say, man, the these and the thous, man, I can't get. It's because you're not looking for righteousness. You see, man, it's plain if you're looking for it. If you understand it and you analyze it and you're looking at things in the spirit and you recognize the things for what they are, you stating the obvious. Well, the Lord said, man, Deuteronomy 7:6, thou the holy people unto I've chosen thee, unto myself to be a special people above all nations on the earth. And then when we say, well, look at the athletics. Look at the inventions. Look at the style and the swag and everything else that comes from our people. It's obvious. That's what it said. The Lord said it's plain. Who's going to deny that? You can't say the influences that happen because of us musically hasn't changed the world. Only special people can do that. Recipes, herbal remedies, all the inventions made throughout the earth. Only special people can do that. And you got to be a damn dummy if you don't recognize it and say, man, that's true. And Black Hispanics have, they have done a whole lot that goes unrecognized. Yeah, they got stolen, they got robbed, they got kidnapped, yeah, that's all true. It's written plainly. But you got to be seeking out righteousness to get it. Go ahead.
And right to them that find knowledge.
And right to them that find knowledge, because that's what it is. We're inheriting and getting knowledge from this book. We're not getting religion out of that book. That's what you constantly thinking in your head, oh, the Bible, I ain't into religion, man. I'm cool on that. Who said that? Who implanted that thought in your mind even said that that's what this book is about? It's far from the truth. Was that it? All right. Let me close out Isaiah 33:6. So it said once we get this, it's plain, it's written, it's understandable, and we're going to attain knowledge through it. What are we going to do now with it? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time.
You want to know what's going to be happening? As inflation keeps rising, famine's going to hit the land, warfare is going to be happening, plagues and diseases are going to continually circle around. The children of Israel, you're going to have to lean on this. You're going to have to lean on this book right here. Invest your faith, invest your knowledge, invest your sweat equity according to the words of the Lord, and put in your work if you want to be sustained in this time, because everything is going to be collapsing. Watch it. You living it, you seeing it, you just in denial. You praying that it ain't real. You hoping, man, I hope it just ain't that bad, man. Them brothers be saying, man, white man's a devil. I just hope it ain't that bad. Or poison in the air, the food, the water, man, GMO. Oh, you're talking about the chemtrail? Man, it can't be that bad. Sterilants in the water, population control, the vaccine, it can't be that bad. Please tell me they wrong. That's all he want to do.
Happy to do it.
He's happy he's doing it, man. Life is grand for him.
Right.
I would lose my mind if I had to listen to that song
8 hours.
8 hours a damn day and act like I was happy and loving it with 2 kids in the damn train. Good look. He's satisfied with that.
Yeah.
The Lord said, with everything go down, man, you better have some knowledge and some wisdom under your belt to be stable in these times, because everything is unstable. If you haven't noticed, the world is unstable. And the Lord said the only way you're going to maintain is through wisdom and knowledge. That's going to be the stability of our times. So-called blacks and Hispanics, this word is for you. Okay? Got it? Go ahead.
And strength of salvation.
And strength of salvation. That's what we're looking for. Salvation. Everybody don't need to be saved. Let's make that clear. LeBron James ain't worried about being saved. No matter how much money he got, because if he was, he'd take a stand, he'd say, nope, I ain't getting it. Not getting poked. That lets you know he's not ready. Salvation means the end of this world. At the beginning. Now, see, I said that was the last script. 2 Ezra 6. About the Esau's the end of the world, Jacob was the beginning of it. That following? See? If they were looking for the end, that's what salvation means. That means the incoming of a new regime, a new authority, a new law, new righteousness, death to all wickedness and folly. Who's ready for that? Y'all know you're not. Was that it? Go ahead.
The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
The fear of the Lord is his treasure. That's what the Most High wants. He wants our people to re-engage in his fear. He wants our people to engage in knowledge and wisdom and stop, relying on all of the lies and the disputations that's going on in the political worlds and all of that. They keep trying to sell you hope. Oh, the approval rating of Biden's going down. They might make a change. We might get Kamala in there. That's going to be even worse. See, people worry about Trump and say, who's going to replace him? That's what you need to be worried about. We just keep thinking replacement theology is going to work. This one didn't work, put in somebody else. This one didn't work, put in somebody else. I mean, how many times you keep flipping the same coin and getting the same odds? It don't stop. Straight to salvation. Let's get back over to that second Ezra. What was that? Chapter 6 and I think it was 5 or something. Is it 6? Chapter 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want chapter 6. And let's read 7. Read all the way down to your precept of 10.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, where shall be the parting asunder of the time?
What's going to be the parting asunder of time? What's going to be the split in the end of what's happening in the times that we're living in right now? That's encompassing upon the salvation of the children of Israel. The salvation that everybody's pending and waiting for. What's going to be the signs of that? Go ahead.
Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
See, there's an end to everything. Everything's got a beginning and an ending. So we're looking at all these particular kingdoms that rose up before us. You got Babylon, Persians and the Medes, you got the Greeks, you got the Romans, you seen the French, you seen the Russians, you seen the Germans, you seen all of the kingdoms that the so-called white man's established, the Britons, the British, and now they lining up with America. All good things must come to an end. Everybody's heard that saying before. And that's what the Most High said in regards to this time that we're living in right now. The era that we're seeing and the rulership of the so-called white man, where the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, that's going to be the end of this first. And what's going to be the beginning of it that followeth? What's the kingdom that's going to follow? Read on.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born.
See, it all boils back to our forefathers. The whole equation is surrounded around the movements of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And our forefather Abraham was given a promise from the jump. Everybody's waiting on us. The earth, the animals, the nations, our own people, the angels, the Most High, Yahweh, waiting for us to get it together. He said it started back with Abraham. Go ahead.
Of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Abraham is the grandfather of Jacob. Abraham his son Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob and Esau were struggling in the womb. That's the last two nations on the earth. So-called white man and his nation, the Edomites, and the Israelites, the children of Jacob, struggling to fight in the womb. And said Jacob grabbed first on Esau's heel because they knew about the first rights of the firstborn. Jacob wanted to be the firstborn, but it wasn't meant to be that way. The Most High had a plan in regards to our birth. The beginning of the first, the end of the first, which is Esau, and the beginning of it that followeth, which is Jacob. Read.
For Esau is the end of the world.
When the so-called white man is out of power, that's when the earth is done. And his whole system is collapsing. You see the military, they're collapsing over this whole poke. They're leaving. Industry, businesses collapsing. People getting laid off, hundreds of thousands unemployed, making decisions, seeing what it is, seeing the wickedness for what it is. Look, the president, the CEO of AT&T, he even came out and said, man, white people, you're the problem. And he's right. But if I say it, oh, they racist, they hate over there, those guys, I just quoted what he said. And now to say you got to turn the other way. Oops, I'm walking past them. He said it. CEO of AT&T. And he's got training to re-educate all his white employees so that they can acknowledge white privilege and everything else. And he said, white people, you the problem. There you have it. Straight from the mouth of the devil himself. You won't listen to us. Listen to your oppressor. You love his words. You love his forked tongue and his slick speech. Listen to him then. He told you. We agree. One time he didn't tell a lie. Go ahead.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Remember, he said, what's going to be the end of the first and the beginning of the last? The beginning is Jacob's kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, where Christ is going to reign supreme forever and ever and even ever. Was that it? All right. So with that, I'm going to close out. Give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. Kwame Yasha Allah.
Kwame Yasha.